Hello, everybody around the world. It's Football-Oranje. We're back with another live stream after a Netherlands game. We haven't done one of these for months now, but we're back and there's some games. And the Netherlands beat Denmark 4-2 this evening. A really promising performance. This evening, I've got Abdul with me, who's going to briefly introduce himself in a moment. I just wanted to make sure that if everyone that is watching or listening is giving this a like and subscribing if you're new to Football-Oranje, your home of Dutch football in the English language. So there's loads of comments coming in right now live on YouTube. Do feel free to keep sending those in. And if you're watching this, say, a day after, a couple of days after the match, and you haven't got in for live comments, then do just drop us a comment anyway and let us know what you thought of the game. We've got a really good growing community of Dutch football fans on this channel, and it would be great to have you sharing your thoughts on the players, how you thought Van Gaal's new system went. Let us know. Without further ado, Abdul, would you like to introduce yourself to a Dutch football crowd?
Thank you so much, Michael. My name is Abdul. I'm from Kuwait. I'm a writer and a novelist, but of course, this has nothing to do with my passion. I've been a fan of the Netherlands since 1988, so it's been more than 34 years, and I'm a diehard fan of the Netherlands. That's all I can say about it.
Thanks, Abdul. And he's also the person who's given me this lovely new flag in the background, so thank you for that as well. It's traveled halfway around the world, and it took a while to get here, but of course it did, because it has come so far. So thanks for that. It's great. Let's jump in with some of the comments then, Abdul. And some people jumped in straight away before we even started the live stream. My time was saying, decent game, were fun to watch. Frenkie de Jong and Koopmeiners midfield were good. Berghuis and Wijndal didn't play. We need to be more solid in defence. We can train that. Looking forward to Germany. Yeah, really fair comment, and I think brings in some of the things that I certainly want to talk about in this sort of podcast, Abdul, about Koopmeiners, about de Jong in midfield, and the back five coming back from Van Gaal. A Danish fan sends commenting, good match. I think it was defeat, but honour in defeat for us Danes. Bad first half. Yes, it was. I think Denmark were particularly poor in that first half, and that's what kind of cost them the game, even though it was a friendly. Void_cryptic. Berghuis played well, but missed many one-on-ones, and all of his shots seemed to be on the ground. Jack Nanilla, one of our regulars here on our streams. Blind complete trash. Responsible for both goals. Cannot run or jump. So not a lot of love for Blint this evening. Another comment here also saying that.
Blind is toast, yeah.
Blint is toast. Flecken seems dodgy to me. The new goalkeeper making his first appearance tonight. I'm sure he was nervous out there, but seems to be slow on the ball. Wow. I mean, where do we start, by the way? I've just looked down and there's like double the amount of comments. I can't show them all right now. We'll bring some more later. Keep them coming in, though, everyone watching live. Abdul, what did you think of the game?
Well, I think we played a very nice match. I think this is the best match for Oranje since the 6-1 against Turkey. We were really solid. The team had a good fighting spirit, attacking most of the match, and of course, scoring 4 goals in one match. This is more than what you can ask for. I think everyone was great, but of course, Flecken was kind of maybe confused in the beginning. It's the first time for him. It's his debut, so I don't really blame him. He's responsible somehow for the first goal. And I also blame Blind, probably. He was very slow today. He's been slow lately, maybe he's aging. I'm not really sure. It's pretty much the same way he played against Benfica. They used his weakness by attacking his side. And this is what happened today also by the Danish team.
Yeah, David Blind's a good place to start because he's just constantly caught out at the moment defensively. If you play him out wide, that's what's going to happen. Playing left wing back even more so because he's constantly going up and down the pitch, and that exposes him even more. He's not great in one-on-one situations, and also if you catch him out with the pace, and you've got Ake as well, who made a couple of errors defensively this evening, but not as many as Blint. Yeah, you leave yourself open. So I'm guessing people probably want Malacia or Wijndal in Blint's place. I would agree. I really want to see Malacia long term in that position.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Yes.
But Blint is still really strong on the ball and showed that again this evening. That's why he's in the team. That's why he's there. But could he have a place in that back three instead? I think actually not. I think it should now be against Daley Blind, because he's better on the ball being out on the left, because you can't expose his height so much. He lost out on a header for one of the goals. But defensively, with the solidity of trying to not have all these openings, you can't afford to play Blind out there. I think people will agree with that. So Mark Flecken, would you play him again against Germany? Would you give him another chance?
Oh, well, I think we have a Kroll now, so maybe he can start against Germany. Maybe we should give a chance to some other players. I really wanted to see Malin and Danjuma more, maybe they can have more time to play against Germany. Other than that, everything was great. Weindl, maybe he could be a starter instead of a Blind. I mean, today my only problem with the lineup was Blind. I really wanted to see Weindl starting.
Yeah, same. Somebody else. But
Yeah.
Weindl didn't have a great Euros, and that's why he's not found it easy to get his place back. But he's played much better with RZ lately.
Yeah, but Van Gaal always is good with young players. He knows how to increase their level by like 5 or 10%. Maybe with the Van Gaal advices, maybe he can fix the mistakes, and play better than how he played in the Euro qualifiers and all that.
Yeah, I think that was more because of De Boer not getting the best out of Weindl tactically with how he plays, because he just was doing things he doesn't normally do. I think a couple of times as well that five at the back, it did become a little bit awkward when Dumfries, say, was out wide, and then he looked up, and unless he like whipped in a cross, which he's not known for, it was a bit pointless him being out there on the ball. But much more threat by having Berghuis centrally, something that I thought I wanted to see many months ago before he went a bit off the boil at Ajax. When Berghuis was playing really well as a 10, I couldn't wait to see him play that position for the Netherlands, because it's what the team needed. It's what the team really needed. He gives so much more in that position than out on the right wing, so much more. And he was brilliant around the box with his touches. I think he deserved more than one goal. Perhaps we could be harsh and say not deserved, but he should have got more than one this evening. You mentioned Danjuma and Marlon. Yes, it would have been great to see them have more minutes. Danjuma, I thought, would have started, but Bergwijn with 2 goals, got to be pleased with that. And surely long term, if with a performance like that, he is going to be starting up front with Memphis.
I've been happy with Bergwijn since he scored that goal against Norway and saved us to qualify to the World Cup. So yeah, he's been doing great with Oranje, and I think he will be a starter. He's been given everything the entire match. I highly expect Van Gaal to use him as a starter in this World Cup if he continues with this level. Unlike Memphis Depay, who I'm not really sure if he's going to continue being a starter since he's been a sub now in Barcelona. I know Bergwijn is a sub also, but with Oranje, he's doing much better than Memphis, in my opinion.
Wow, after all those goals that he scored in the World Cup qualifying.
Oh yeah, of course, Memphis was doing great, and even today he wasn't bad. But I think Bergwijn was more notable than Memphis Depay today.
I'll respectfully disagree with you there, Abdul. For me, Memphis is an undoubted starter, and just like a Van Dijk would be. Yeah, he does need to start getting more games for Barcelona. That is for sure. But it's that front two, that second position, in my opinion, next to Memphis is open. And Bergwijn, it could be Danjuma. I guess we won't know who the starter will be until we get to the World Cup, and it might change per game anyway, depending on what Van Gaal wants to do tactically. And just to find a point before I let you jump in, Abdul, if he switches to say a 4-3-3 against a team that they're expected to beat, so not a Denmark, not a Germany, but in the World Cup you will come against teams you need to beat 2 or 3-0. And I think that's when the formation may change. I don't think it'll always be 5 at the back, but clearly Van Gaal has done this because he wants to find a way of beating the bigger teams.
Yeah, playing with the 4-3-3 in the World Cup, you mean?
Oh yeah, my point was, I think there's a little bit of flexibility still in the players that will play, but also with the formation that Van Gaal will play. That there's not going to be a set 11 really. There's a few core players that are almost untouchable in the lineup. But my point was, I think there's still room for wingers in another formation, and Bergwijn and Danjuma might both be able to start in that system, and
Yeah,
Marlon as well.
yeah. I think if he starts with the three attackers, he can
Mm.
use Danjuma, he can use Bergwijn. Of course, not to mention Noah Lang or some other talents he might find. And Depay will be then the false number 9 up front. I think that's how it's going to be with Van Gaal if he decides to play with the three attackers. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump in with some more comments. And I know we still haven't talked about Teun Koopmeiners, so I'm looking forward to talking about him a bit later. But let's bring up some comments from people that I haven't already brought up on screen. So, and Blint is a huge liability, gave it 2 goals when the game was in full control. Yeah, so another person that doesn't agree with having Blint in the side. I know I've already shown a comment from Jack Nickniller, but I do disagree with this. Loving to trade Ericsson for Berghaus. I thought Berghaus played quite well this evening.
Yeah,
I,
Berghaus was
I,
great tonight. Yes,
I
indeed.
was pleased with him. Man Like Lee says Frankie de Jong was pure class tonight.
Absolutely.
Rob says nice assist from Blint, but too much of a defensive liability. His strengths don't outweigh his weaknesses for me. Yeah, that's a fair comment, Rob. Screen Saeed, I do not understand why we play so slow sometimes and kill counter attacks. And Berghaus and David Blint do not deserve to represent the team. Wow, especially Berghaus there for me. May, the defense was quite shaky. The defending wasn't that good. I prefer 4 at the back. And a question for us as well. What do you think about dropping Berghaus for Depay and putting Bobby up front with Bergwijn? Well, Bobby's got to prove himself, I think, first with Ajax and probably have a good season with them next season as well. He might be on loan again there, actually, is the rumour that's come out today.
And I
But
still think
Bobby's
Rob is
very
too
different
young to
proposition.
play for Oranje.
Yeah, I think his style of play will be very interesting to see for the side. Van Gaal needs to start playing Malacia and Vindal. Yeah, I'm gonna ditch the Blink comments now because yes, lots of we do agree though. To be fair,
Yeah.
we need to get a proper number 9, says Void Cryptic. And let's. I'm just gonna put this comment up. And yet again, it's about David Blint. I guess this proved why Van Gaal wanted Blint dangerous crosses. Yeah, they were definitely. Let's talk about Teun Koopmeiners, Abdul. He's playing for the Netherlands again, and he's actually playing well.
Who?
Teun Koopmeiners.
Oh yeah, Koopmeiners. I've been calling for this for a long time. I've always
I think
wanted.
a lot of people have, but when he's been playing his little dribs and drabs, he just hasn't been that great. A bit like a Hans Herterbur, actually doesn't perform when he gets his chance in a Netherlands shirt. But tonight, different story.
Yeah, because he was a starter. Usually he comes late in the match. He comes in the second half or something. I don't recall him playing as a starter for Oranje. Today with the Frankie de Jong, I think they were amazing, really, with Berghuis in the midfield as well. I was really happy with our midfield. They completely dominated the match. So I think Koopmeiners will continue being a starter. I think he will convince Van Gaal to be a starter very soon, if he hasn't convinced him already, maybe.
Yeah, and a performance like this evening, he's definitely going to be a starter for the next match. I don't think there's room for considering De Roon to come back into the side. Koopmeiners and De Jong and Berghaus, the passing ability in those 3 is brilliant.
Yeah.
You've
Yep.
seen it a little bit tonight, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Some players like De Roon or Classy, which he was chosen, of course, also for the midfield. I don't think they will ever get a chance as long as Koopmeiners is starting. You talked about Berghaus, and I don't know. I agree with you completely. I don't know why some people attacking him. I think he was really great today. He did miss some chances. He should have scored at least 1 goal, but he was really dynamic behind the attackers. And he caused, yeah.
I was going to say that he definitely got the 1 goal and 1 assist. I don't know if he got any more. I wasn't counting, but I can remember certainly the goal and 1 peach for cross that he put in. That was the performance that we saw at the start of the season, like with Ajax, and how he was just all over the place and actually quite influential with the play.
Yeah.
Really pleasing. Like that was most of the changes from this evening. We got to see Flecken We got to see Ake back in the side. We're calling for Blintz to be exchanged for another left back, perhaps someone that can bring the attacking game, but also something a bit more pacey defensively. We've spoken about Koopmeiners and Bergwijn top. So I guess the question now is, who do you want to see come in against Germany? And same for anyone in the comments, by the way. Let us know who you want to see come in a bit different.
Yeah, well, it starts from the goalkeeper. I really hope to see Kroll in the match. I also want to see, as I mentioned before, I want to see also Danjuma as a starter and Weindl. I want to see Weindl playing as a left midfielder if we're gonna play 3-5-2. Blind, I'm not really sure if he should play as a central defender, the third defender, or he should just sit on the bench and use Nathan Ake instead. I don't know really. In my opinion, Blind should be on the bench, and the defensive trio will be Van Dijk, of course, De Ligt, and Nathan Ake. So the only changes, I would say, the goalkeeper, Kroll, and Weindl or Malacia, and up front I would want to see Danjuma also.
And just going with the comment, come on, Kroll, absolutely not good enough.
He's the only goalkeeper we have as a sub now, right? So that's why.
Well, I think let's keep Flecken in and see if he's any good again, and maybe he can persuade us in his second performance. He's a little less nervous and keeps a clean sheet. We'll see.
They both
ultimately, though,
our main goalkeeper is Bailo. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Ultimately, the goalkeeper is Bailo, and he's been fantastic this season. He just needs to stop the getting injured.
Yes.
And a comment from Michael saying left back has been an issue since Van Bronckhorst. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Comment from Only Cooler. Question for you. What do you think about Berghuis and 10 position? We've kind of touched upon that already, haven't we?
I think he's one of my friends. What do you think about Berghuis on the 10th position? I think he did great today. I think everybody was happy with him except for the chances he wasted. Yeah, we already said that.
With Memphis, this comes into what you said earlier, Abdul, where I disagree with you, that Memphis is the closest thing to a guarantee starter. His goals and assists the last 3 years are insane. Everything good goes through him. 12 goals for Barca. Are you going to change your mind yet and say that he is a guarantee starter?
My only concern is because he's not a starter with Barcelona. That's my only concern. I completely agree with you. Memphis is a very important player for Oranje. He should be a starter.
Fresh. It's fine. Keeps him fresh when he plays for Netherlands.
Yeah, if that's
injury free,
then I would want him to be a starter. Yes, but Van Gaal was kind of clear about this, that he wants the players to be starters in their team as well. You know.
No, I've just seen this comment come in. Abdul, my fellow Kuwait compatriot, disagree with you strongly. Berghuis wasted almost every ball which came to him. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to back you up, Abdul. Yes, he was a little wasteful, but he was getting so involved with everything, and he was important tonight. It's not as if he didn't set up a goal or didn't score a goal. He did. He did both of those. So for me, I'm on that side of the fence tonight.
Yeah,
stick my neck out. People
maybe did not like him today just because he did not score, but you have to see the overall picture. I think he did so many other things, you know.
Oh, I thought he did for some reason. He didn't score, did he?
Yeah.
Did I say that earlier? No, he didn't score, but he nearly did. And also he got the penalty, didn't he? So
yeah,
again,
exactly.
important.
He was the penalty for his team, yes.
A good question I thought for this one. If Mike was on the podcast tonight, he's not tonight, he'll be back probably for the next one. He would be back in this comment. Do you think Timber should start for the Netherlands at the World Cup? Well, a lot has to happen before the World Cup, but if Timber can bring back some of the form we saw at the start of the season, I think there's a position for him in that back five instead of Ake, don't you think?
Yeah, Timber is developing very quickly. And Ajax is really depending on him, and he's been doing so great with the team. So he could be a starter, yes.
But we did speak actually in the match preview. We spoke about Mike and I, we spoke about Timber and that he does have his flaws. That whilst he's very physical, he's not that great in the air. He lost that header, didn't he, against Benfica when it mattered for Ajax. And for me, if he was going to play in a back four for the Netherlands, I'd say no, unless he was at right back. In a back five, I'm more tempted to say that that's fine. But if I'm not fine with Blint being in a back five for his aerial disadvantages, then why would I want Timber in there? I just want to come back to Blint as well. If Koopmeiners is injured, I'd be happy having Blint in that midfield to play a similar role.
I was talking to one of my friends only a few minutes ago, and I was telling him the same thing. Blind could be a defensive midfielder. I think in that position, he is much better than being a left back or a defender. Yes, if Koopmeiners gets injured, I hope he doesn't, then Blind could take this position indeed, yes.
Yeah. It's part of that thing though, isn't it? How important do you think it is to have 3 physically strong centre-backs in this back five? Is it important, or can you have a Blint or a Timber sat in there?
I think we can have a Blind or a Timber, but of course I prefer Timber. Of course, I think he's much better. He's more solid, and you don't have to have 3 physically strong. You already have Van Dijk and De Ligt, and I think that's more than enough.
Yeah, I suppose it's that thing of when you're choosing a player to mark from a corner, you don't choose Timber for the biggest striker. And if there's going to be crosses put into the box for a big striker, as most of the best teams in Europe will do, they have that weapon, then they're going to target that shortest, weakest centre-back, aren't they? So it's about how the Netherlands deal with that and make sure that's not happening, and they've got Van Dijk or De Ligt on them instead.
Exactly, yes.
And then it's not down to the player itself.
Yeah, Ajax kept a clean sheet for a long time with Timber in the back and Martinez, and they both were short, So
you could argue though that the Eredivisie is not known for its aerial players with the headers and crosses in, and unless you consider the Champions League performances where they had Haaland and that was fine. Played against Lisbon, kept clean sheets. But I take your point that yes, Martinez and Timber, they're very physical, but they're not great in the air, and they kept clean sheets for a great deal of time.
Yeah.
There's some more good comments coming in. People just discussing with each other what they're thinking. Someone's brought up Stefan de Vrij. Did you miss him tonight? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't miss him at all, really. Many people think Nathan Ake did bad today. I think he was good, but he was playing with the Blind's side. The Danish team
that was important, wasn't it?
Yeah, Blind was the problem. It wasn't Nathan Ake, so I did not miss de Vrij at all.
Yeah, de Vrij though is a fantastic centre back, and he's someone that needs to be in the squad for sure, and could easily play instead of De Ligt or instead of Van Dijk if either of them were not there. Solid player. Well, Abdul, is there anything else you'd like to add on this evening's performance?
Is there anything
else you'd like to add?
I think, as I said, this is like it's like the first time I see Holland playing this style, playing amazingly since the 6-1 against Turkey. Everything was perfect. It's one of the times you cannot really find something wrong, except maybe for one player or two. Everything else was great. I loved the spirit of the team. We were attacking almost all the match. But of course, some things need to be fixed, especially in the defense. I did not like the centering of the defense in some chances. The second goal, for example, for Eriksson, he was kind of alone in the box. Somebody was supposed to stop him. I think very few mistakes, but that's of course very good, considering this is the first friendly ever for Van Gaal. He took the team during the qualifiers, so it's really good to see that.
It is. I've really enjoyed the performance. There was lots of great attacking moves and some great quality shown by some of the forwards this evening. Some brilliant passing moves. Great to see Koopmeiners in there and playing well as well. Yeah, it was a very, very successful evening. I'm pleased that despite playing 5 defenders, there were loads of creative chances, made by the Netherlands. But yeah, the downside is that they conceded 2 goals, and whilst it was a friendly, that there were too many chances given away. I think, if it's a big important match in knockout rounds, I think the Netherlands have been made to pay for those.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah. What do you think the formation will be against Germany? Do you think we will play 5-3-2 or three
I think
five
it's
two?
got to be the
What do
same,
you
yeah,
prefer?
because Van Gaal is using these. He's deliberately wanted friendly games against Denmark and Germany, two sides that are really strong in Europe, because he wants to test out the five at the back system. Because he knows that at the World Cup he's going to use it, and he's going to play it against those bigger teams in the knockout rounds. He's still got the 4-3-3 to call upon if they need to get a goal or if they need to win a game more easily against a defensive side. But this was done deliberately, wasn't it? There's got Nations League games coming up in June against Belgium, against Wales, and then the World Cup's going to come around, and he needs a system to try and beat the bigger teams. At the end of the day, Van
Yes.
Gaal wants to try and win the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was hoping he could try something different with Germany just to see how the team will perform, because he said it himself. He's going to try many systems, in the friendlies
All
and
right.
even in the Nations League.
Fair enough. That will be fascinating to see all of them come out then.
Yeah.
And there's comments still coming in. Thanks everyone for sending in your live comments this evening. And if you enjoyed this live stream, please do give it a like, and it will let us know that you've enjoyed them. We'll do obviously more in future. There's one after every single Netherlands game, and subscribe to Football-Oranje if you're not already, and see what we do on our YouTube channel, but also our website. We've got much more coverage this evening and in the coming days to do the Netherlands on Football-Oranje. And of course, you know that we don't just cover the Dutch national team, we do the Eredivisie as well. So much more to come from us. We'll do a live stream after the Germany game. No preview before that one, but there'll certainly be a live stream after the game where we'll be just taking all of your comments again and talking about the game. And just before we go then, Abdul, it looks like people are pleased to have you on. So Michael says, thanks for having Abdul on.
Oh,
Well, it's been a
thank you.
pleasure, Abdul. So thank
Thank
you.
you. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
I'm not going to show any more comments up. I think that'll be it. That'll be it tonight. Thanks everyone for your kind comments. And speak to you all soon. Bye.
Thank you.